Hello there, Mark Sabatella here. In this video, I want to show you how we can add more color to our piano arrangements, and not just piano, really arrangements for any instruments or voices. But I'm going to be building on this piano technique that I've been showing in a couple other videos, in which we have our melody in the right hand, the bass in the left hand, and try to fill out the chords with our inner fingers. What I want to do now is add an additional note to our voicing. The additional note I'm going to add is most typically going to be a ninth of a chord. So if I have, for instance, B flat 7, the ninth is the note a whole step above the root. So C is our ninth. Or if I want to add a different color tone, sometimes I'm going to add the 13th, which is also, you could think of as a sixth. It's a whole step above the fifth. Those are the two color tones I'm mostly going to be choosing between, a ninth or a sixth or 13th. And the way things work out, it's probably more often that I'm going to choose the ninth. And so I'm just going to show you in this piece what this might look like. So I'm going to take Londonderry Air, otherwise known as Danny Boy, which is the piece that I've been looking at in some of my other recent videos. And I just want to add ninths or 13ths and see what we get. So if I play this the way I might have otherwise play it at the beginning, it might go something like this. Something like that. Well, what I'm going to do is expand on that a little bit, adding that ninth. And now, for the E flat, I might add it like this. The E flat chord being a triad, if we're really going for this more colorful sound, we probably don't want a plain triad. I'm going to make that a major seventh chord. I'm always going to add the diatonic seventh to these chords, so I might add a major seventh. The next chord is E flat 7, and I can again add that ninth. And then E flat 7 over G, again I'm adding a ninth. And now here's my ninth on the A flat chord. And now F minor, there's my ninth. Here's my ninth. And here's my ninth. And here's my ninth. This time I threw it into the left hand. I felt like it. Just fit my hands for that particular chord and where the melody was. Now, again, I've got my ninth in there. It's tucked in right underneath the melody. I might not always do it that way, but that's what I'm doing right now. Here's my ninth tucked in right underneath that E flat. And now for F7, I could put the ninth down here. I like to crush that with my thumb also, but this actually feels like the perfect opportunity to finally get a 13th in there. I haven't really done any 13ths. Here is my 13th on the chord. It's a whole step above the fifth. When you use that, you can often omit the fifth and use that 13th instead. And now F minor, there's my ninth. There's my ninth on the B flat. Working forward a little bit. Hey, this time I decided to put a 13th on that E flat chord. I just felt like it. Here's the ninth on that B flat chord. Here's the ninth on the E flat 7. And then ninth on the A flat. Now this C7 chord in an inversion, I'm less wanting to put color tones on these inverted chords in this style, because it's going to be a little hard enough to understand what's going on harmonically when a chord is an inversion here. The color tones might get in the way. So I'm not saying never do it, but if it doesn't seem like it's going to work out really well, like I really don't want to put the color tone way down there. That's too low. I don't want my color tones down low. And I don't want this big old cluster up on the top, so I'm happy to just let this one not have any extra color. F minor, here's my color tone. There's my color tone. For the B flat 7 with an A flat in the bass, again, Not going to worry about color. And now for the G7, here's a color tone, it's a 13th. C7, now I got a 9th. Here's a 13th for my F7. And in this case, the 9th was my melody note, so I'm kind of set. And there's my 9th on that chord. So all I did was take my basic rendition of this song with melody, bass note, filling in the rest of the chord tones in the middle, and I just added one color tone to each of those chords, normally the 9th. But instantly, this transforms it to sounding a lot more like how a jazz pianist would play it. And yet I'm not doing any fancy jazzisms, I'm not improvising, I'm not syncopating, I'm just adding some color to the harmony. And I promise this style works, this type of harmony works in pretty much any modern style of music.